Hey everybody, this is Jake from Testosterone Trips. I am here in the hospital at the UC Irvine Medical Center. Sorry for the shakiness. I'm kind of coming off of the surgery. So just kind of give you an update on what's going on. I had the surgery this morning, April 26th at 8:18 was when they started operating. I was here at 5:15, but they did the surgery. They did the C5 corpectomy, where they take out the bone of the vertebrae at C5 at the cervical spine. They removed the protruding discs, which was apparently a bit of a challenge because one of the discs had kind of ossified, which means it kind of got bone-like and kind of was tough to remove from the spinal cord, which was what it was compressing. So I'm appreciative for the doctors of that and trying to get that out and be careful. What else? So when they rolled me out to recovery, apparently that was one of the funnier situations of the day. Apparently I was a little bit on the pain meds, and I kept trying to undress myself, and basically I just kept throwing my gown down around my private area and told them to I was hot, to quit putting covers on me, basically. And that was kind of funny. My wife was cracking up about that, but that's kind of one of the funny things that happened. There's a couple other funny things that happened. I've been trying to keep a positive attitude and kind of keep it light and joke around a little bit, and I think sometimes the nurses appreciate that, but maybe I overload them with jokes, I don't know. But anyway, so you can see my neck brace here, and you can actually see the patch there that's over my wound. That is the stereo strip. And at some point they'll probably tell me that I can remove it, but right now it's staying in place. I am currently attached to all kinds of IVs and wires. It is really exciting. There's the left hand. This morning when I first came in, they actually had a hard time getting blood to test things, so they ended up going, normally the IV's in my right hand, they ended up going over to my left like a phlegmatis would, and they got it from my upper arm, and I had no problem getting blood there. And outside of that, there hasn't been really too many problems in regards to the surgery. So so let's talk about when I can remember waking up and kind of being cognizant. Apparently that was another thing I was kind of saying in the recovery room. It's like I am completely coherent. I know what I'm talking about, and apparently I would just kept repeating myself like over and over and over again. So that was kind of funny. But anyhow, so let's see. I woke up. I was completely coherent, of course, in the recovery room, having a good time with the nurses, and that's really kind of what it was. I was pretty coherent. I'm sure I was saying things kind of off the cuff, but they wheeled me out of the operating room about noon. They called my wife. Actually, the actual doctor called my wife, and that was really nice of him. Really excited about the potential that I have for recovery here, and so is the doctor. So sorry I keep moving this. It's actually kind of got a little weird angles, but I got to keep my neck at 45 degrees, and I'm trying to do that. And I'm also trying to watch the Angels as they lose to the worst team in baseball at the same time. So anyway, so they wheeled me in around noon. They didn't have a clock in the recovery room, so, and I'm a kind of a clock guy, and I don't have a watch on, obviously. So I kind of lost track of some of the times, but so I remember my wife coming in. They called her in around noon, like I said, and then she came in, and it was real nice to talk to her and see her face. And I love my wife. She's so patient, and just if I could ask for the best wife ever, she's it. So I love you, Renee. Anyway, so she just kind of talked. She actually talked me through some of the stuff that was going on. I guess the nurses talked to her. I actually kind of remember fighting the nurses about taking my clothes off. Apparently, I wanted to take them all off because I was hot, but they kind of forced me to keep my privates covered with my gown, and that was kind of funny that she got to hear that. She thought that was funny, and that was kind of fun. But anyway, so let's see. I'm gonna do the best I can to remember everything. So noon, she came in. She was there probably till 1-ish or so, I guess. She was there about an hour, and we just talked and kind of. She told me about what some of the things the doctor said in regards to what I talked about earlier about like the ossification of of the disc, and how it had kind of wrapped itself around the spinal cord, if I understand right, which is probably why it was pressing on it so far. Again, my spinal cord, for those of you that missed the first video, was supposed to be measuring 14 millimeters across, and it was only measuring like 3 or 4. So that was why I kind of came in for the surgery, to hopefully kind of repair my gait and whatnot. So let's see. So my wife left for lunch about 1 o'clock, and then I just kind of actually took a nap at that point. I was pretty tired. I told her, I said, I was completely coherent, of course, but I took a little nap even though I was completely coherent, and woke up at some point. And, it's a recovery room, so it's loud. So there's always things going on there, like sounds of the beeping of the equipment in there, and then you're always having people wheeled in and out, and so it's a little bit busy. And they're always checking your charts and making sure that your blood pressure is good, which mine was really good. It was actually scary this morning when they took my blood pressure this morning. Again, maybe she had a hard time finding it because of the blood issue. It was 106/59, and I'm like, okay, will they even do the operation when my blood pressure is that low? And apparently they do. So they weren't too worried about the low blood pressure, apparently, and that's scary low for me, because I'm usually in the 130 to 140 range, maybe sometimes 145 when it's higher. And then my systolic is usually 85. So there's that going for me. Anyway, I'm trying to stay coherent and make complete sentences right now, but having a hard time. Anyway, so that was interesting with the blood pressure this morning. So they're constantly taking your blood pressure in the recovery room, and about 3 o'clock, and again, I was kind of like napping in and out there for a while. I remember a lot of the beeping, and I remember seeing my nurse a lot. I think her name was Candace. Sorry if I got that wrong, Candace, but I was a little delirious. Anyway, so I told her that I felt great, and I really I honestly don't have any pain at all. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I can kind of feel my back, again, a little bit between the shoulder blades, but a little bit lower than that. I can feel a little bit of, achiness there. I wouldn't call it pain. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a definite 1. It's not that painful, which is pretty amazing. My incision, which you can, again, see the bandage for my neck, that I felt once, but it doesn't hurt. I just felt it, kind of a thing, where it was like, oh, okay, it's there. I can't see it yet. I'm sure it looks gruesome, and I'll show you guys later what it looks like gruesome. But so I've got that going for me. And anyway, so 3 o'clock, they wheeled me into my actual room here at UC Irvine Medical Center. They have been absolutely wonderful. My head nurse is Lily. I've got her assistant named Lauren, and they have been just fantastic. A couple of things that you probably, TMI, don't too much information. I've not peed nor pooped during after the surgery, and I will say this: thank you, doctors, for taking out the catheter before I was up and at 'em. I appreciate that. Maybe that's why I haven't peed. Maybe they emptied the whole bladder. I don't know. But anyway, so that was one of my issues going in, was bowel issues, constipation, and urinary delay is actually what the problem was, one of the major problems. So hopefully this surgery takes care of that. I had weakness in the legs. I've been up already, and I've kind of walked around my bedroom, I guess, my room here, and then I've also kind of walked a little bit into the hallway when the physical therapists were working with me. Initially, they started me off on a walker, and I'm like, I don't need a walker. So anyway, so I ended up doing it without a walker for a while. They want me to be extremely careful with my neck, which I appreciate, because I don't ever want to have to do this again, per se. Anyway, and then, so it's 3 o'clock, and then about, I don't know, after doing physical therapy, of course, I'm hungry, so I had ordered some food. On the throat end, you know, a lot of people complain about the throat on a discectomy. And that was true here. I had a little bit of a sore throat, and you can hear it certainly in my voice, but it really isn't that bad. I mean, what it feels like to me, a lot of people feel like that it's like a strep throat feeling, and you know, I guess you know, I appreciate the doc, and sometimes it can feel that way later instead of like right after the surgery. So I don't know what it'll feel like tomorrow, but one of the things I've been trying to do is I've been trying to eat a lot of ice and use a lot of ice water to keep the swelling down on that. But I've been told that the swelling will stay there for a couple of weeks, and that's fine. So for dinner, I had some beef broth. I had some. I had a. The next heaviest thing I had was Jello, and then I upped it to pudding, all sugar-free, of course, because I am diabetic. And then finally, the last thing I had some egg salad, because I wanted something really light and smooth this first night for dinner, which is actually lunch and dinner, because I haven't eaten all day. It was okay. It was harder, certainly, to swallow the egg. Each one of those things got a little bit harder to swallow. I did learn that I need to put a napkin in front of this, because there's a gigantic, you can't see it, but when I'm sitting up, which is what I did when I was eating, there's a gigantic gap between this here and my chin, and I dropped some Jello in there. Hopefully it doesn't reek tomorrow. But put a napkin there, I'm gonna remind myself. Anyway, so I ate that sitting up, which was nice. Apparently they have to train me how to do all this stuff with this neck brace on, and that's fine. I don't want to ruin it. And so I ate dinner, and my wife and I chatted for a little bit, and then she headed off to have her dinner tonight around 6 o'clock. And yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing. That's kind of the night I've had. So I just wanted to kind of update you guys and kind of give you a feel for the corpectomy. And I know there's not a lot of personal stories out there, but I'm trying to make a personal story out of it and upload it for those of you that might come into this operation later on in life. So I think that's all I got for day one. I'm about to make some FaceTime calls to friends, and hopefully my battery doesn't run out. But thank you guys for watching, and make sure you subscribe and like this video. And we will talk to you guys on day 2, which is tomorrow. So have a great night. In fact, have the best night ever. Bye bye now.